For millions of people, the feeling of financial pressure isn't imaginary, it's real. Over the past few years, the cost of almost everything has increased. Groceries that once fit comfortably into a family's budget now consume a much larger portion of monthly income. Rent and home prices have climbed faster than wages in many cities, making homeownership feel out of reach for younger generations. Utility bills, healthcare, education, and transportation have all become more expensive. Even people receiving salary increases often discover that those raises disappear almost immediately because inflation has raised the cost of living even faster. As a result, many households are saving less, relying more on credit cards, and postponing major life decisions. This creates the widespread belief that everyone is becoming poorer. But while these struggles are absolutely real, they only show one side of the economic story. To understand where the money is actually going, we need to look beyond everyday consumers and examine who benefits when prices continue to rise. Whenever inflation dominates the headlines, most people focus on the pain it causes consumers. However, inflation also creates winners. Many large corporations have the power to increase prices without losing significant numbers of customers. When production costs rise, these companies often pass those costs directly to consumers, and sometimes they raise prices by even more than necessary. Businesses with strong brands, limited competition, or products people can't easily avoid continue generating massive profits even during difficult economic times. Luxury companies also thrive because their wealthy customers are far less affected by higher prices. Energy producers, technology giants, and multinational corporations often report billions in earnings, while ordinary households struggle to balance their budgets. This doesn't mean every company wins, but it highlights an important reality. Inflation doesn't remove money from the economy, it often transfers it. While consumers pay more, certain businesses collect more, creating a financial divide that grows wider every year. One of the biggest differences in today's economy isn't education, age, or even income. It's ownership. Most people earn money by trading their time for a paycheck. If they stop working, their income usually stops too. But another group earns money because they own valuable assets. These assets include stocks, businesses, rental properties, patents, and investments that continue generating income over time. As companies grow, shareholders benefit. As property values rise, real estate owners become wealthier. Business owners can expand their profits without working more hours. This is why two people earning similar salaries can end up with completely different financial futures. One spends nearly everything on living expenses, while the other consistently buys assets that appreciate in value. Over years and decades, those investments begin producing more wealth than wages alone ever could. The modern economy increasingly rewards ownership, making assets one of the most powerful tools for building long-term financial security.
The reason wealth inequality continues expanding is surprisingly simple. Wealth creates more wealth. Once someone owns valuable assets, those assets often increase in value while also producing additional income. Stocks generate dividends and appreciate over time. Real estate can provide rental income while property prices climb. Successful businesses reinvest profits to grow even larger. Meanwhile, families living paycheck to paycheck rarely have enough extra money to invest consistently. Most of their income goes toward necessities like housing, food, transportation, and healthcare. As prices rise, saving becomes even harder. Wealthy families also pass investments, businesses, and property to future generations, allowing wealth to compound across decades. This creates a cycle where those who already own assets continue moving ahead, while others struggle simply to keep up with rising living costs. The result is a widening financial gap that isn't driven only by salaries, but by who owns the assets that keep increasing in value year after year. Although the economy may seem unfair, it doesn't mean ordinary people have no opportunities. The biggest lesson isn't that becoming wealthy is impossible, it's that understanding how money works matters more than ever. Building wealth usually doesn't happen overnight. It often begins with learning valuable skills, increasing income, avoiding unnecessary debt, and consistently investing even small amounts over long periods. Many successful investors started with modest savings, but benefited from patience and compound growth. Others built online businesses, created digital products, or developed careers in industries with high demand. The common factor wasn't luck alone, it was gradually shifting from relying only on earned income to owning assets that could generate future income. The question isn't whether everyone is struggling, because many people genuinely are. The real question is whether you remain only a participant in the economy or become someone who owns a piece of it. That's where the biggest financial opportunities of the future may truly exist. At the end of the day, the reality is not as simple as it looks. Yes, millions of people are struggling with rising costs, pressure on salaries, and shrinking savings. That struggle is real and it can't be ignored. But at the same time, money has not disappeared from the system. It has simply changed direction. It is flowing more towards those who own assets, businesses, and investments that grow even when they are not actively working. This is why while many feel stuck, others continue to build wealth quietly in the background. So the real question isn't just who is struggling. The real question is, where are you positioned in this system? Are you only earning money to survive, or are you slowly building something that can grow beyond your daily effort? Because in today's economy, awareness itself becomes a form of advantage. The more clearly you understand how money moves, the better decisions you can make for your future. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because here, we don't just talk about money, we break down how the system really works so you can